Okay, we are live.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and a Sharpie. Hello, Internet. This is Justin Freed, and this is the Tech Podcast inThirty. This is some episode taking place in the year 2014. We long ago gave up on episode numbers, and our WordPress loads so slow I can't even figure out what episode number it is easily. Okay, we're talking about the Amazon Echo because Haim Cohen of HaimTime.com has a fetish for it, and then we'll after we're done with that, we'll open up the floor.
I think we need a whole Amazon show, but okay, they gave you unlimited photos. They gave you Prime members get access to stuff early.
Paul N. Shapiro of SearchWilderness.com, which is now loading really, really fast. Are you an Amazon Prime member, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a Prime member, Haim.
Like I said, I am.
All right, the three of us are Prime
The
members.
only service I don't mind to pay for gives me I have to pay money to ship things faster, which is generally not something I do. But
okay, Paul, are you on the student plan still at $40? Or are you on the big boy $80 a month, $80 a year plan?
$100 a year.
$100 a year plan now.
He's on his girlfriend's.
I'm on Laura's account. I'm not sure what she's paying.
Okay, so she's doing the
$100. I had photoshopped her student ID to say a later year at one point, and we extended it that way.
Is that how they? That's okay. So I didn't even know that they went that far. So you're on. If Laura can share it, then this is your girlfriend. If Laura can share it, that means she's on the big girl plan. What are you on?
I'm on I'm on the big boy plan also.
They charge me $40 a year for the last 3 years, and I'm on the student plan still somehow, and they do not know whether or not they've not asked me.
Well, I'm on the big boy plan, and you can buy at my family member status.
Okay.
Which is not right, but I'm not.
Okay, so you want to talk?
One of the biggest things of Prime, if you don't know, is that you can share with up to 4 family members, being the people in your house. The key here is only one person gets to stream it. So I give it to my wife, and I give it to my my father-in-law actually.
Okay. All right. So I find it interesting that all of us are on Prime. It's a good service. Okay, you want to cover the Echo, Haim?
Yeah, I want to cover the Echo. Amazon released this device.
Quick quiz firsthand. It's okay. Retails for $200 for the regular unprime person, the subprime human being gets it for.
You have to be given access to the beta program as well, right?
Exactly. I did not get that. I if I wanted it, I'd have to pay my $200. Paul, did you get it yet?
You requested access?
I did request it.
I did not get access to it.
Haim?
I did have access to it. I'm not going to buy it.
I want it for $100. F you, Haim time. Okay, so you were going to go into your PR pitch on why the Echo is amazing because you got it for $100. I bet you Amazon will make good and send it to me too. But okay. Go ahead, Haim. What is the Echo?
No, I saw this and I'm like, I still don't understand it. It's this thing where you talk to. It's like Siri. It's its own personal digital assistant that locks into all the Amazon services. So I'm assuming if you have a Kindle Fire or Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and you have your photos in Amazon Photo Storage and your music there, you can just say things like, "Buy me this," and it will buy it for you, or play this song.
Okay.
Basically, it's what Siri can do.
So this is a whole room solution, though. It's always on. It uses a hot word like OK Google or Hey Siri when an iPhone is plugged in. It responds. It has some really good audio tech in it. The reason I would buy it for $100 is because it can also be used as a Bluetooth stereo, which I've never purchased, and also I think you can also use it as a speakerphone, Bluetooth speakerphone. So for $100 plus the other functionality, I think that's pretty cool. It's like a proof of concept thing. It's a way to kind of get people on board with the Amazon Hive Mind and what might be called Alexa at some point. That's the hot word that it ships with by default, although that can be changed. Paul, what do you think is going on here? Why did Amazon just need to have another way to write off a hardware failure on its books to go with you?
They've been pushing the voice search into all their products. What was the streaming box? That was an important feature of their streaming box. That's an important future of the Fire. I think they're just really looking to expand the usage of voice technology.
It seems like they could make it an API that's available in the same way that Amazon Web Services is available, maybe to compete with Siri to give apps their own internal voice assistant technology or something. But I mean, overall, like this is an important thing to get right, right? Like the digital assistant based on voice.
Sure.
I mean, look, I have Google Glass, and one of the things I bought it for, thinking that would be helpful with the baby, so I don't have to constantly pull out my phone. And you know what? As I think I talk to my phone more than most people, I don't talk to things as much as I thought I would.
It's still awkward, and I like talking to things. Siri on my iPhone 6, it still is. If Siri were my personal assistant, she would have been fired or like thrown in the trunk a long time ago. I mean, just really, really annoying still. I mean, it just
Why?
in the car especially, and it's hooked up to my Bluetooth. It's just half the time when I get into my car and I want it to play music, this is what I say. I say play songs by Radiohead. Okay. Now I'm not even saying play Radiohead radio, which I could see it kind of getting confused by. And admittedly, in iTunes Match, I have, because of my brother's music library, I have reached the limit of 20,000 songs. So there's a lot of possible matches. But if I say the same thing every day, it's play songs by Radiohead. Don't come up with don't play like Video Killed the Radio Star 3 out of 4 times before it gets to Radiohead. Come on. And the fact that it still has to...
If I may paraphrase, the voice...
Play Radiohead.
Is that the problem?
Is it what?
The voice recognition.
Sometimes it's more than that, because even when it transcribes it properly and I see the text come up properly, it still semantically doesn't get what's going on a lot of the times. It's not the voice to text. It's more the semantic understanding. And plus, Siri is annoying. The little like jokes and jabs and like. I had just an example real quick. I had Siri set a timer for me for 6 minutes a little while ago, and it said, "Thank you, Han. You're violating copyright. YouTube will now not post this." And it said, and a reminder: a watched iPhone does not boil or something. Whatever. I don't want some quirky dumbass response, Siri. Just do what I tell you to do, or Okay, sorry, Paul. What's your?
I didn't. I've never gotten a response like that from like a legitimate command. It's always when people are fussing around and trying to be funny that it's funny, but
she's cute with me much too often. So the question is, does the Amazon Echo potentially get this right? Siri is so off kilter. It's they've got to go back and remove Scott Forstall's DNA from her. Okay, they've got to like raise another baby because it still has that like skeuomorphic feel to it. And by that I mean just like trying to shoehorn in this familiarity that doesn't work because it's a new thing. I don't want the kitschy banter. No one does. Believe me, it's just completely useless.
Really? Look, I kind of wish that Google now would every once in a while talk back and say something other than just the answer.
It gets old really, really, really fast.
Okay. Look, I've been surprised by how good. I've been surprised on both ends. When it works, it is spot on, and it works really well generally in the car. But sometimes I'm just standing there in a silent room, and I would say something, and it just doesn't pick it up. And I think this goes with all the voice recognition apps. I don't think we're even 50% of the way there.
I think you're being too kind to Apple here. I think that they need to go beyond having a team of people in Boston. I think they really have to like steamroll what they have, allow more of it to happen on device, and rather than require a connection to their cloud. But let's go back to the core of what this episode is supposed to be about, or at least the beginning, is Amazon Echo. So Amazon's doing this stuff. They're selling not the semantic part of it yet, because they didn't tell us that it can figure out what you mean based on context. It's not sure if it's conversational, if you can say yes, but blah 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 blah, or if each thing has to be parsed separately as a command that's kind of like stays unto itself. But they made it clear what it can do. If you're in the kitchen, you just kind of pick the thing up, put it in the kitchen. When you call out for converting, I don't know, milliliters to quarts or whatever you want to do, it'll do it. If you want to know the weather, it'll do it. And then it has proactive technology where it acts as a smart alarm clock where it can give you news in the morning and it can respond to your voice to stop the alarm or snooze or something. So
the question is, okay, so it can do the voice recognition, but if you're using it as a Bluetooth stereo or a speakerphone, you want the audio quality to be good, or not good, but as good as it can be, and I don't know, I would have to listen to it, type thing, and everything else.
For $100, I would just.
I know. I requested an invite, so I guess I didn't get it, but I requested an invite, and if I get it, you know what? I may just plop it down and buy it.
Well, what's our opinion on the microphone technology?
We have to take Amazon's word for it, but it seems like because this is so narrow of purpose, I'm inclined to bet that it will feel right out of the box better than Siri and probably on par with Google at just a getting the gist of what you're saying level. Like they're keeping it kind of narrow, and I think that's smart. But they're playing up the audio quality. It's a 360-degree omnidirectional response microphone and speaker. I bet you I'm just like I like Amazon's hardware. I bet.
Is this a gift for your mother?
No, because it's so easy to forget. This is the type of thing that you buy, and because you're committed to the technology a little bit, you're more inclined to say, "Oh, let me show you this." It's the type of thing that could end up in a drawer really easily, or it's the type of thing I see Bluetooth speakers being used all over the place. So,
I'll give you an example. For $85, I have this little travel speaker, but take the Jam Box, the bigger Jam Box. That's probably on par of $250. This is not much bigger than that, and all of them have the limitation that Bluetooth is compressed audio. So for $200, you know what? You may get a little more smarts,
and the same
for a slightly bigger package.
You know, I am making the mistake of falling into this Prime members save $100 limited time only thing. And considering that it's a $100 purchase, and for $200, no, I would not even consider it. I'd rather get the Kindle Voyage, which I think Santa might put in my stocking. But I wouldn't go for this. I think that this ties in with the little remote control microphone thing you can do with the Fire. I think that Amazon has the cloud computing capacity certainly to mine like the voice recordings and figure out what's going on. It fits for them, I think.
You think there is at least a data play involved here?
I always think that with almost every big company, and for them in particular, yeah. This is
for Amazon, absolutely.
This is like the impulse buys of impulse buys. This is taking it beyond one click to purchase. This is like, I'm in the mood for some strawberry shortcake, and you're like, wait, and then a courier shows up, an Amazon drone like drops it like 2 hours later, and you're like, what? Okay, thank you, I guess.
Like a mini bar fridge.
Kind of amazing.
Credit card, just click buy, and it will be here. Otherwise, put it back in the drone. But I mean, do you think your suggested your recent searches on Amazon get affected by what you search for on the Echo?
Yeah.
It seems like this is one directional right now, that they're taking in information, but that it's hooked up to your wish list, it's hooked up to your shopping cart. Certainly, you can say, I don't think it can make the purchase for you yet, but by the time you get to your computer, yeah, if you're in the kitchen, they're of the impression that everything you can do on the front end to lower the friction of just choosing the product makes it tons more likely you're going to buy it. That's why they go after like the scanning technology in grocery stores and the UPC code scanning on your phone and all that stuff. This takes it even one step further. You don't even have to scan the UPC. You can say, I need some more Barilla pasta. And it's kind of like a personal shopper, and I think it doubles as a stereo.
It's pretty competitively priced within the Bluetooth speaker market.
For $100.
No, even for $200.
Even at $200, I have like a little Bravin speaker, and I have it because I want it at like some Engadget thing, but I think it's like $200,
and
I think most of them are around that price.
And don't you think, Paul, that like Amazon is kind of they're inclined to give you a little more hardware for less money to get their foot in the door at this point? That's
Absolutely.
so I'm just betting that the audio quality will be good. It seems to me that voice, though, and I've said this, I do repeat. I mean, we all repeat ourselves from show to show to show. We'll see who's most right when we all die. But that the voice element of it is really important. That people want to be able to do that. It'll get better and it'll get more natural. But it's still the semantic understanding, and this is a shoo-in for that they can begin that process of you like interacting with Amazon like it's your friend. Like this gets them into that arena for the first time, and they're calling it Alexa. That's the hot word. I mean, it's the type of
Why
thing.
can't we get a manly name? Why can't we get a Sven or something?
Sven? Because that would have to be the robot that lifts things up for you and then puts them down. I mean, that's what that would be for. You're moving.
Why can't we get a strong man voice?
Siri is a man for me. My master.
Monsignor.
No, that's not manly.
Sir, hey sir, no.
Siri has a man voice.
You know, I'm looking at some Sonos products, and it sort of looks similar to a Sonos product, and some of the functionality is similar.
So what is
Sonos is triple the price?
Does Sonos do any of the listening stuff, or are you talking about just the output?
I'm not sure it has much in terms of voice, but especially in terms of being like a connected speaker, it's similar in that respect.
So here's something that they put in. First of all, it brings your Amazon Music library and Prime Music and TuneIn and iHeartRadio, of course, to it. It has alarms and timers and lists. It does questions and answers like at a kind of like Trivial Pursuit level, but it also does news, weather, and information. And in that, I go back to the alarm clock thing, and I think that's pretty cool. You know, I get up in the morning and I put on NPR as a matter of course. I would kind of prefer to do it off my device.
Wait, you want to wake up, right? Why would you put NPR if you want to wake up?
I'm also drinking coffee.
I want to wake up.
I'm also drinking coffee at that time.
I mean, at this point, Howard Stern should be your still de facto wake up.
No, he is not. He's become something of a shill. The other thing that it has that I think is cool, it has the nice LED circle around it to make changing the volume physically, I think, feel cool. So it has that stuff. Is this the beginning of more Amazon niche products? They've got of course the e-readers, the tablets. Those are not.
Didn't they just put a huge loss for whatever second quarter?
Yes, the Fire Phone.
The Fire Phone, and I think their investors are starting to say that you can't start selling things at cost because they're not making money.
Bezos has been driving home the R&D message since he really got beyond books, and no one's looking for their balance sheet to be in the black every quarter. It's just not what the company culture is about, and this is what you put up with. And could they really screw it up? Are they going to piss away all their money? No. But they also just came out with a new transactional database product, which which goes right alongside with the typical Amazon Web Services, and they can compete with Oracle now. Like they do this huge range of stuff, and just as a foil to Apple and Google, I think they're important.
Well, I mean, Amazon, for people who don't know, go way beyond just books and buying products. I think they control something like a third of the internet's backbone with their cloud services.
Yes, they do.
And I think nobody look. I mean, we know that, but I don't think a lot of people know that Amazon is just more than just a toy store.
I mean,
a marketplace.
People buy toilet paper and toilets and sex toys and every type of thing. I mean, like everything. People buy everything on Amazon.
So and you go from there, and I do want to just put a side note. I'm like jumping all around. I have a side note. We didn't talk about this last week, but did your Apple alarm go off correctly on daylight savings time?
First of all, it's daylight saving time. It is not daylight savings time, which I guess I understand why people make that mistake. I did not have an alarm set.
I mean,
Fine, that was
Apple
fine.
every single 6 months has the problem that it didn't properly go
Okay,
up.
it is a fair question to ask, but I spent the I was not going to be getting up any time near an alarm on that
Actually, I don't
Sunday.
know if I had an alarm set.
Well, the problem, and I think this was on all platforms, you couldn't set your alarm to be the second 2 a.m.
Well,
That's really important.
I don't know.
Heim needed to make sure that his clocks were changed exactly at the right. He couldn't stand to have them at 3 a.m. at all. He just really.
I mean, I'm still switching clocks. I mean, there's still some clocks that I come by and say, this is not right.
It's November 12th time. You have to have it done by Veterans Day, otherwise you are truly a slacker. You are.
Is your thermostat on in your house changed properly?
You know,
I realized all the things that I haven't had set already.
so Paul, you're completely done. Heim, you know me.
I'm not. I don't. Apparently, the watch I've been wearing every day is not set.
It shows that it's little more than a fashion accessory.
Is your car set? Your car is not
My
set.
car is not set.
My car is set.
Your girlfriend's car is definitely not set.
I have no idea.
I am very into the time. My Fitbit Force. Okay, if we're gonna make this, we're gonna skip net neutrality for this episode. I'm gonna make that executive decision now. We're going to transition into Fitbit. How are we on time? We're probably at 15 minutes.
We have less. We probably have 10.
Time.
I'm checking. We have 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay, I will say, the Fitbit Force. Finally, it got the same firmware update that I expect is going to ship on the charge. What are you showing us, Paul? What do you got there? Is that Paul's
setting my watch?
Paul's okay, this is exciting. on air. Okay. The Force got the firmware update that I expect will ship on the charge, giving it caller ID notification, and they gave 15% off to Force owners. One-time purchase, which can of course be used for the new products. I'm gonna give them a pass. I'm gonna give Fitbit a pass. I'm gonna give them a pass on HealthKit. I ordered my Force recycling kit finally. I got my charge at 15% off. So the total cost to me for having a Force for 1 year and then getting the charge will be, I don't know, like $110. I think that's pretty reasonable. And the new devices. Have you two scoped out the specs on them or not?
Oh, I kind of gave up on the whole pedometer thing. I have an article somewhere where David Pogue reviewed an Omicron pedometer against the Fitbit and basically said the Fitbit is amazing, great product. However, this Omicron analog device held its own to the point that I would recommend that one as well. And then we have Google Fit, where Google is going to start taking over. I have my Android phone in my pocket all the time anyway. So at that point, I don't need something else in my phone.
Heim, but when you call me now, I'm going to see Heim, Joshua Cohen scroll across on my wrist, and I'm going to get a buzz on my wrist. It works reliably and well enough. Now
I know. So now I know when you don't answer the phone, it's not because you didn't hear it. I'm actively being ignored.
Every single person that I have told that to has said that exact same thing. I am sorry that I don't interrupt what I'm doing to answer the phone. Friends and family.
I will say, since your New Year's resolution of trying to be more on the ball, you have been.
Well, and to much personal trauma. I was at lunch a couple of days ago, and an electrician called me, someone I really needed to talk to. And I was surrounded by people that rely on me in an office. They do a lot of work, and they saw me look at the call and ignore it and put the phone back in my pocket. And they said, "Oh, that's what you do when all of us call." I said, we're all in the middle of eating. If I called you now, would you answer? And they said, "No, except that when you call one of us, you then call the next one, and then you call the office, and then you call someone that you know is." And I was like, "Yeah, because that's what I do. And this guy could call me 5 times, and I would ignore them all 5 times." And yes, okay. Anyway, the caller ID, the wrist notification works. It's pretty cool.
My Fitbit Force does not connect to Bluetooth anymore.
I noticed that the Apple Health is actually tracking via its internal pedometer, and I didn't realize it was going to do that. But it's awful. it's so off. Like it's so off compared to like I know what I did when I was wearing my Fitbit, and this is like like double the steps that I'm getting according to it.
You know, I just looked at mine for the first time, and yeah, for some reason, and I do not carry my phone around with me all the day. I leave it all the time. I leave it on the desk a lot. It says 7,000 steps. I bet you my Fitbit will say less.
Well, the question is, does it matter? Like, yes, if it's off by double, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, this is incredibly off, and that matters.
Well, remember, I had both the Fitbit Force and the Fitbit Ultra, the one that clips on your belt, and I've always said that the Fitbit Ultra tracked every single step, every fidget, everything, and the Force only counted the actual steps, and I know Justin doesn't agree with me on that.
Yeah, I think you make so much. It's not. You just get caught up with the idea that the Fitbit is just a pedometer. I think that's a neat element of it. I want to watch. I like the notifications on my wrist.
It's rubber, and you're known to wear rubber bands around your wrist.
That's true. That is what they replaced, and that is the only
Well, I mean,
that I
it
wear.
says that I've walked 47.58, which seems a little low, but that's not. That's within a good standard.
Now we've got to have almost no time left. If we look at the charge is just a slightly updated Force. It looks like the band is a little bit refined. Hopefully it won't give people rashes, although people have been claiming that they're getting them. The Charge HR is pretty cool. It has the heart rate monitor. I'll be honest, my heart rate doesn't bounce around all that much. I didn't think I needed that. And the charger was different for it. And by the way, try to Google what type of charger the Fitbit Charge has, and then you good luck with that, folks. But finally, there's the Surge, which is a super watch. Apparently, it gives you text message notifications for $250. At that stage, if you're going to drop $250, don't you just go with an Android? What is it? Android Move, Android Fit. What is it, Hein?
Moto 360 or any of the cheaper Samsungs.
Or an Apple Watch. I mean,
An Apple Watch.
Yeah, Paul, you're. I think you still come up in the step list on my Fitbit app. What do you think of the Charge HR, and Surge?
I don't want a Fitbit product because it doesn't integrate with Apple Health. Did you have a Force or did you have the Flex?
Flex. Okay, so you're not getting the 15% off either. So Fitbit then really has put the last couple of nails in its coffin. Even though the Surge is probably a good piece of hardware, maybe the margins on these things is high enough that they'll stay afloat for longer. I still kind of want them to be out there. I do. I still don't want them to be out there. Why don't you just recycle your Force finally? Or you have two and you recycled one?
No, I have no. I still have my Force, and I gave it to my mother so she can wear, but she doesn't know how to wear it, which is fine, whatever. So I have it back. I like to give it to people so they can see how far they've walked because it does show the number of steps. It just doesn't connect it to the computer. So you can let somebody borrow it for a week, see if they like it. I'm doing something altruistic and helping people out.
That's what, Chaim, you are so full of crap. You just that is not. I mean, that degree of altruism is so uninspiring that you're like, you know what? I did something altruistic. I saw a puppy and I did not club it with it. I mean, like, good, Chaim. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I'm letting people try out the Fitbit. I'm trying to be their PR, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right. So this
90 seconds.
This show ended up being about the Amazon Echo and the Fitbit Force. I have a feeling that come our holiday gift guide, both of these things will make a resurgence. Justin
will do the charger, the Fitbit Force, and the Fitbit Watch as all three of his products.
I don't think they're only one price point. Really, they're too close in price. But remember, if you get an Amazon Echo now, you can actually use it to add items to your Amazon wish list in anticipation of the holiday shopping season. Okay, this has been episode something or another of your favorite 30-minute-long tech podcast, inThirty. I'm Justin Freed. Thank you for listening.
Bye.